Alright, here we go. So, like terms, you see we have 3x squared minus negative 1. So, what is 3x squared minus negative 1? That's a positive 4x squared. There you go. Alright, then we've got negative 7x minus 4. So, what is negative 7x minus 4x? Negative 11x. There you go. And then we've got only one constant, which is plus 5, and we're going to just bring them down. Still okay? Alright, number 2. Number 2, we've got 2x squared plus 1x squared, which is 3x, or excuse me, c squared. 2c squared plus 1c squared is 3c squared. Alright, and then we've got 7c plus negative 9, which is negative 2c. And then don't forget, a lot of people have forgotten this 1 over here. We've got 4 plus 1, which is 5. Alright, did number 3 get some of us? Yes? No? No? Sweet. Alright, so at the top you're adding fractions. How do you add fractions? Common denominator. And what's the common denominator between 2 and 5? 10. Alright, so this one, I multiplied 2 by 5. So I'm going to multiply that top by 5. On the second one, I multiplied 5 by 2 to get 10, so I'm going to multiply that top by 2. Now I can add them, so it'll be 7 over 10, and then 1 over 4, right? Alright, what do we do from there? There you go. Keep, change, switch, keep it, switch, switch, whatever you want to call it. Keep the 7 over 10, change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip this bottom fraction, so it's going to be 4 over 1. Y'all okay on that? Alright, then you can just multiply. 7 times 4 is 28, and 1 times 10 is 10. So, save yourself some time. Type in your calculator 28 divided by 10. What do you get? 2 point something, right? Don't worry about anything. What's the only answer choice that has 2 in the front? E. Don't worry about wasting your time getting that fraction on an ACT or on a multiple choice test. If it's not multiple choice, then you can worry about getting that fraction, okay? But if it's multiple choice and you already see the 2, just pick that one. Don't waste your time, okay? Because your ACT, every second that you waste is precious, okay? So when you see that, just circle it. Are y'all okay? Anybody lost? Alright, so let's talk about something real quick, okay? Before we get started. Today, we're going to finish out our notes. We have a checkpoint today on what we did yesterday, because tomorrow, if you look on your calendar, what do we have tomorrow? A quiz, okay? What do we have a quiz on? We have a quiz on everything we've learned from Friday till today. Are you okay with that? So that's, you remember the real and the rational and the irrational and the integers that we learned? And then we added and subtracted like terms, like these two. And then we solved equations. And we solved absolute values, right? Okay, that's everything for your quiz tomorrow. Then Monday, we're getting the laptop. And we're going to do Google Classroom, right? There's a few people that haven't signed up for Google Classroom. And what else did we say that we were going to take on Monday? Our procedures test, right? Which is online. You don't have to have any paper or anything on Monday. When we come in on Monday, more than likely we will be in rows. So don't be freaked out if we're in rows on Monday, okay? Your names are still on your desk, so you'll just sign your name and go from there. All right, if you looked on your calendar, so we did Friday, we did Monday. Look on your calendar, what next Friday, which I believe is the 26th? That is your unit test, right? That's your unit test. Raise your hand if you were on varsity football and you will not be here on Friday. All right, so here's your options. You ready? You can either come Tuesday afternoon if you feel like you're ready after school, or you can wait and come Monday morning when y'all get back. Either one, but it's either Thursday, not Tuesday, Thursday afternoon before y'all leave, or Monday morning. Either one's fine, okay? Everybody good? All righty, here we go. So put your bell ringers away, and let's look at our notes. So we got all the way to page 10, right? Yep. Okay. There we go. All right. So let's look at number 3. What do we have to do first on number 3? Grady, see where we're at? Is that it? Okay, the page numbers are at the bottom. Just find page number 10. Okay. What do we have to do first? Add the 8 first, right? So let's add the 8. So we've got 4, and then absolute value of 7y plus 2 is equal to 1. Then what do we have? Divide by the 4. Okay? Anybody lost? Alright, here's where you better buckle up and pay attention, because this can get a little much. Because most of you, on your homework from the other night, that last problem, the one that I handed back yesterday, you got negative 0.99999 when you were supposed to get negative 1. So if you got that as an answer, it's because you used decimals instead of using your fraction, okay? So if your decimal terminates, it is okay to use a decimal. What do I mean by terminate? If it's 1/4, it's 0.25, and then it stops, right? So it's okay to use a decimal with this one. But if it doesn't terminate, you cannot use a decimal. So we're not going to use decimals because I want to make sure we all understand how to do this problem. Okay, you ready? So what we do is we take just the inside, right? Just the inside. What was it, 7y plus 2? And we set it equal to 1/4. Then we take the inside again, but this time we set it equal to negative 1/4. Why is that? Because when I plug it in, what do those bars make my answer? Positive, right? So it's okay for the inside to be positive and negative. All right, so here we go. We're going to minus the 2. So I've got 1/4 minus 2/1, right? Okay with that? When you subtract fractions, you got to have a common denominator. So what's common? How much? 4, yes. So multiply by 4. And that's 8/4. Okay, then I can say 1 minus 8. What's 1 minus 8? 7. What kind of 7? Negative 7/4. Okay with that? All right, how do I get rid of that 7 with a y? You divide. And this is why we had that bell ringer problem today, right? Okay, keep change flip. Keep the negative 7/4. Change division to multiplication. How do I flip 7? What does it become? 1/7, because this is 7/1, right? And if it helps, you can go ahead and cancel out those 7. And so y is equal to negative 1/4. All right, let's do the other one. Subtract the 2. But this time we have negative 1/4 minus 2/1. Common denominator is 4. And so what's negative 1 minus 8? Negative 9, there you go. Divide by 7. And then keep, change, flip. Fortunately, nothing cancels, nothing reduces. So we got to multiply. So that'll be negative 9 over 28. Is that okay? Okay. Do you want me to look at it? Sometimes I can find it a little faster. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're going to skip 4, and we're going to go to 5 first, okay? I really should have put 4 and 5 in a different order, so we're going to go to 5 first. So what can I do on 5 first? Subtract the 8, right? Olivia, I'll put it back up there in just a minute, buddy, okay? So you get that is equal to negative 2, right? Then what do we do? Divide by 2. Now what? How is that different from 1, 2, and 3 that we did yesterday and today? Those have a positive answer, and this one has, can an absolute value, can the whole absolute value, not just the inside, but can the whole absolute value ever equal a negative? No. So what will we call it? There you go. Alright, but look guys, make sure you pay attention to this, okay? Make sure that you have solved this problem out. Make sure you have done it to where the absolute values are by themselves before you call it that. Why? Because look at number 3. Number 3 was equal to a negative, right? But what happened when we got the absolute value by itself? It was equal to a positive, right? Y'all okay? Alright, then we're going to do number 4. Now, number 4 is different. Why? What on? Okay, the absolute value is on the other side. That's one reason. So let's switch it around. And you have 2 y's, right? You have 3y minus 2 over here. Y'all okay with this? Okay, so watch what we do. We take the inside piece. What's my inside piece? 6y plus 25. Okay, that's what I'm going to take. That never changes. It never, ever, ever changes. 6y plus 25. Never changes, okay? What do we set that equal to? We set it equal to what they give us like normal. We don't change anything. So the first one's never different. Okay? The second one, though, you still keep the inside. The inside never, ever, ever changes. I would. Why how'd you get that, though? There you go. You have to set it equal to a negative and a positive. So I'm going to do the negative of this, right? And I put my parentheses around it. And that's how she got positive 3y plus 2. Very good job, Caitlin. Are y'all okay with that? So look, this one is normal. There's nothing different. I just bring it down, right? There's nothing different. This one I just have a negative. So remember number 1 from yesterday? One of the 9s was positive, one of the 9s was negative. Y'all okay? Alright, let's go to solving. Here we go. Let's see, Abby, what would you do first on the 6y plus 25 equals negative 3y minus 2? What would you do first on that?
6y and 3y.
Okay, so you're going to add the 3y. There you go. So that gives me 9y plus 25 is equal to negative 2. Jewel, what would you do from there? There you go. And Chris, what would I do from there? Divide by 9. And then Yvonne, what did you get as an answer? -3. Very nice. Alright, what about this other one? Olivia, what would you do first on this one? Subtract 3y. So I get 3y plus 25 equals 2. John, what would you do from there? And that's -23. And then Emily, what would you do from there? Divide by 3. And you're going to get a decimal. Is it a terminating decimal? Is 23 divided by 3 a terminating decimal? No. All right, do you want to leave it like that, or should we make it a mixed number? What should we do? What's more than likely going to be seen on a mixed number, right? All right, so how many times does 3 go into 23? 7. So 3 times 7 is 21, which leaves us with how many left over? 2 over 3. There you go. Yes, ma'am. Okay, right here. So we subtracted that 8, right? We got -2. And then we divided by the 2. We got -1. These absolute values, now not the inside. The inside we can set equal to a negative. But that whole absolute value can never be equal to a negative. If it is, then you say no solution. But if you look back at number 3 was equal to a negative to start with, right? But once we added that 8 and divided by 4, then we got a positive number. So make sure that you get it all the way solved before you say it's no solution. Does that make sense? Kind of? Yes, ma'am. No. You always choose both of them. But when you plug it in, it should always give you that positive answer once you plug it back in. So like this one, number 1, you got a negative and a positive, right? But when you plug that -14 in, you get -14 plus 5 is -9. And when you take those absolute values, it's always going to be that positive answer. Okay? All right. So all of your notes for your quiz are done, okay? So here we go. Olivia, did you want me to put this back up already? Sure? Okay. All right. Here we go. Braden, we may have some time. We can go ahead and get you caught up if you want to. Where we at? So some of you may have turned this in, and that's okay if you did. Your homework tonight, now you're not starting on your homework yet, because what else did we say we had today? We had a checkpoint, right? So here's what we're going to do. You remember how checkpoints work. You get your checkpoint, and you get to use what only? Your notes and your brain, right? Your notes and your brain. You cannot use your neighbors. You cannot use partners. If you're talking to somebody, then I'm going to give you 0. When you get finished, you wave your hand at me. I'll come check them. And when you get a 100, then I keep it for permanent, right? And you cannot stop until you get a 100. This is preparing you for your quiz tomorrow, okay? And then when you finish, if you finish your checkpoint and you've got a 100, then you can start on your homework. But then we've got one more thing after that we're going to do, okay? Your homework time is what? No. Read them out of pointing of those. Page 12. 1 through 11 on which one? Yep, equation 2. We're going to do 1 through 11, and you only got to do the odd ones, okay? And then after that, what do you got? 16, right? 16 down at the bottom. So, okay. Somebody lost? Okay, then we're going to do one more thing after that. So, let me pause this.